Bayron City, a top-class metropolis full of highly developed technology, is focused on giving each citizen an easy life. However, demon hazards are a regular battle they have to face to maintain their luxurious lifestyle. Shuu Ogata, a demon hazard fighter and the CEO of INS office, a company that bids for demon exterminator jobs, isn't living the dream the government proposes. Shuu has been living from hand to mouth, even with the jobs he's getting, and this is due to his reckless spending attitude. His demon partner, Kisara, has been helping him eat and fight, but does so with so much passion that Shuu can hardly bear it. But he has no choice. After waiting more than 3 months for a demon extraction contract, he finally got one and was ready to go. He bids Kisara goodnight and sets out on his journey. When he gets to the casino that has the demon trapped in it, he teams up with his friend Ayano, for whom he used to work and is also a female admirer. As they start fighting, they discover the demon was immune to all their high-tech equipment, and they'd probably fail the mission. During the fight, Shuu almost gets smashed by the demon, but Kisara suddenly appears on the scene and saves him. She joins in the battle, but the demon seems more powerful. At this point, the only solution was for the couple to renew their ritual, which involved kissing. Upon kissing each other intimately, Kisara becomes powered up and can seamlessly defeat the demon alongside Shuu. But the battle isn't over, as the contract involved them causing as little damage as possible to the building and its environment. Kisara must try to save the building from the impending damage that was building up. The battle against the demon at the casino is over, but the building didn't survive the hit and collapses to the ground. As usual, the government covers it up by giving a story other than the dreadful demon invasion they fight undercover. Shuu continues bidding for jobs with Kisara's help, but he still has a lot of debt to pay, and his just concluded contract will only be paid for at the end of the following month. He goes to Ayano for help to get more contracts, but just as she starts to feel sympathetic, she sees a post of Kisara and Shuu, becomes jealous, and changes her mind. The city's mayor has planned a party to celebrate the technological advancement of the city, but is unaware of the demon invasion that is about to hit him. The Anti-Demon Bureau is up to speed and would do anything to protect the city without letting the citizens know about the demons on the Rampage. With the development of a possible demon threat, Shuu and the other demon fighters on the Anti-Demon Bureau set out to work. They take their positions and are ready to attack any demon that tries to disturb the party. The mayor's son is interested in Kisara because they attend the same school, but she's focused on the mission and waves off all distractions. As the mayor begins to speak, the demon penetrates the walls to the stage, about to possess the mayor when Kisara quickly dashes to hold the demon back. The other crew start the tiresome chase after the demon and checkmate him quicker than the last one. The demon begins to beg for his life, and when Shuu and Kisara are about to shoot him, Shuu gets a call to bring the demon in alive. The only solution was to use capturing gear, which would cost the amount of money they would be paid for the mission. Kisara tries to convince Shuu not to order the gear, as that was their only opportunity to get money to eat for the month, but he insisted. As they argued, the demon jumped out of the building and got hit by the delivery truck, and the gear was now useless as the demon was already unconscious. Shuu wakes up from a scary dream about his past and is reminded of why he fights demons, to get his family back. As he looks at the picture of his family again, he sees that Kisara has taped her photo onto it and gets frustrated all over again. The city of Bayron is invaded by a demon again, and this time the hazard is a demon-possessed worker at the North Plant power station. He turns into a huge caterpillar that swallows up the power supply for some parts of the city. The government and Anti-Demon Bureau get involved again and map out the best plan. As usual, all the demon extractor companies will send their brief to be awarded the contract. Shuu sent in his own and won the bid, but the result was cancelled due to new information, and the contract went to another company. With Shuu off the fight, the team struggles to capture the demon, and they fail and almost lose their lives. Shuu sees the defeat and calls in to offer help. At first, the director insisted otherwise, but agrees after all other options had been exhausted. Kisara comes to meet Shuu as he was awarded the job and tries to remind him of details from his past, but he shuts her up with a kiss. Apparently, he must sacrifice bits of his memory to power Kisara's and his demon abilities, and he wasn't ready to stop fighting now. His memory loss even contributed to him treating his first love, Ayano, like a stranger. When Kisara and Shuu renew their powers with a kiss, Kisara is activated and attacks the demon. Shuu finishes it with his power bullets, leaving the demon lifeless on the ground. But for how long was Shuu willing to give up his memory for power? Tony Rossi, a member of the crime syndicate Orcas, was possessed by a demon, and Ayano's team apprehended him and kept him in the hospital. However, the reason for Tony's killings was suspicious, which warranted a detective, Mikami, from the Anti-Demon Bureau to be called upon. Ayano recognized Tony from the previous week at the park, so she took Mikami to the park for further investigation. Kisara saw them and called Shuu to the scene also. At first, they concluded that the fight was between two powerful mafia groups, in which Tony's group got power from demons. As they discuss it, they get a call that the opposing mafia murdered Tony. Mikami and the police force go to the other mafia's abode, the Serpientes, to fish out the culprit, but are met with the death of the whole squad. As they continue to use the linked crimes to apprehend the criminal, they discover it was Tony's girlfriend, Maria, that had been taking revenge. Apparently, she's gotten some powers from a demon and would stop at nothing to get revenge on those that influenced her boyfriend or watched him die at the hospital. Meanwhile, Ayano accuses Shuu of forgetting important things about their relationship and runs off to cry, away from him in a dark place. As she cries her heart out, Kisara meets her to explain the terms of her relationship to Shuu. She told her that Shuu would lose his memory bit by bit in exchange for the power he needed to defeat demons. Ayano had heard enough and proceeded to leave. After walking some distance, she heard footsteps behind and thought it was Kisara following her. But to her amazement, it was the demon-possessed girl, Maria. Maria appeared behind Ayano and wanted to exact her revenge, but was stopped by Kisara, who came to Ayano's rescue. As the fight continues, Maria goes through a mirror and disappears, but the police force and the Anti-Demon Bureau know the war isn't over. In order to protect Ayano from being attacked by the demon-possessed girl again, she was kept in a safe house and guarded by the police. Her mother, Akino Yugiri, the president of the AAA Defender Company, an anti-demon company, came to visit her and provided her all she needed to feel comfortable for that period. Officer Mikami takes Shuu for dinner and questions his knowledge of certain confidential information. He observed that he appeared at the scene of the Mafia massacre before they sent for backup or informed the Bureau. Unknown to Mikami, Shuu often gets strange messages to go to the crime locations, but he doesn't know if he can trust Mikami with this information. 12 years ago, Shu's father had asked the government to investigate the connection between demon hazards and the special mineral they were mining on the ocean floor. When his father was granted permission to take part in an inspection of the mine, he and the other people present, including the rest of Shu's family, were sucked into the ocean's depth. Only Shuu survived the incident. The government blamed Shu's father, which is why he's doing everything he can to clear his father's name. Mikami promised him that he would get to the root of Shu's parents' death and clear his father's name from any bad record. Mikami and Officer Morgan go to the suspect that influenced Tony's actions, but find him dead. They also find mysterious writing on the wall that reads, "One more person." They believe it could still be Maria on a killing spree to exterminate all those involved with Tony, but they will soon determine otherwise. Shuu visits Ayano at her safe house, and they talk about their past. Shuu mentions that he won't stop giving his memory to Kisara in exchange for power because he believes his sister is still alive. With that information, Ayano decides to let go of Shuu and allow him to fulfill his dream. The demon pursuing her can travel through mirrors, so she covers his eyes to prevent herself from appearing as a reflection in them and plants a deep kiss on his lips. Shuu proceeds to cover his eyes himself, and they had sex for the last time. But before the night passed, Maria came to the safe house and was almost penetrating when Kisara stopped her. As they begin fighting, Ayano comes outside and wants to help, but Kisara stops her because she knows she's been with Shuu. Yet, she still volunteered to help. When Shuu and Kisara meet up, she bypasses the arguments in her head and kisses him intently to get powered up. As Kisara becomes fully charged, she goes to attack Maria, and Shuu finishes her off with his magic bullet. But they discover the war was beyond killing Maria, as there was still a killer out there that needed to be arrested. Sharon, an exorcist from Celestial Abbey, came into Bayron City in search of Kisara. Since the Celestial Abbey is known for exterminating demons, like the Anti-Demon Bureau, she was targeting Kisara, who is also a demon. Kisara is still angry with Shuu over his affair with Ayano and has refused to return home. She's also ignored all his messages and cries by herself in a dark alley. Rationally, she knows that Shuu has been losing his memory in exchange for the power she gives him, so she forgives him. But just as she decides to call him, she sees a social media post of Ayano in their apartment with Shuu and throws her phone away in anger. Justice, with his partner, went to capture a demon and found it dead. As they're analyzing the cause, the Exorcist comes to the scene and attacks the duo. Her objective is to find Kisara, and she doesn't seem to mind killing humans in the process. When she fails to get information from Justice, she uses him as a shield from the police's bullets and jumps out of the window. Sharon's next place to source the information she needs is Ayano's mother, Ayano. She kills all the security to her office and gains access. Fortunately for Ayano, she was on the phone with Ayano when Sharon arrived and didn't end the call. During her discussion with Sharon, Ayano appears and tries to attack Sharon, but she is stronger. Ultimately, she takes Ayano's phone and dashes off with it. Shuu was unaware that Sharon was obtaining information from Ayano's phone until he received a call from his boss ordering him to stay away from home. But it was too late because Sharon had already arrived at his house. She kicks him down his corridor and continues to hit him. Kisara arrives on the scene just as he's knocked unconscious, and they engage in battle. This was the second time they were up against each other, but the first time, Shuu was on Sharon's side. Kisara faces Sharon to defend Shuu, who's already unconscious on the ground. As they exchange words, Ayano arrives with the backing of the special forces from the Anti-Demon Bureau. However, before they could capture Sharon, she manages to escape, and Shuu is then rushed to a hospital for care. The Anti-Demon Bureau researches the new terror in town and discovers that Sharon is one of the 12 most extraordinary exorcists from Celestial Abbey. Her skills are exceptional, and she doesn't make these killings for money, but to defend her faith, making her a difficult enemy to defeat. Sharon makes a journey to the middle of the sea to hijack goods coming into the city. She had loaded a container with a demon weapon, which certainly wouldn't have made it through customs. This was a backup plan if she couldn't trounce Kisara. With the weapon, Sharon had a stronger power and was ready to meet Kisara again. She texted Kisara to meet her alone in a deserted building. When Kisara arrives at the building, she's confident that Sharon would be defeated again, but was surprised when she appeared in her demon machine outfit. Kisara fights bravely, but the demon weapon is stronger, and the demon flesh is poisonous to another demon. As Sharon attempts to give Kisara a final blow, Shuu appears and carries her off to another spot. With Sharon's extraordinary power and exceptional skills, the only way to defeat her was for Shuu and Kisara to renew their power with a kiss. Kisara refuses at first because she wants to know if Shuu is using her just for power or also has feelings for her. Shuu assures her that he wouldn't have thought of getting power from her if he couldn't bear to be with her. And so they renew their powers, and Kisara defeats Sharon in grand style. Thank you for sticking until the end. Subscribe for more videos like this.